The study done by the National Institute of Health showing Black women may be at a higher risk of uterine cancer due to the frequent use of certain hair straightening products. Data showed 1.6% of women who did not use certain straightening products developed uterine cancer by the age of 70. That number increased to 4% for women who frequently used hair straightening products. Kennedy Buck is working for you and spoke with local hairstylists and a doctor about how women should move forward with their hair.
For some Black women, hair is everything, and going to a salon can be part of a lifestyle. But hairstylists say sometimes beauty comes with a cost.
From back then, we see in the progression of women losing their hair from straightening. So yeah, it's very damaging. I remember back then the first relaxer and stuff they create, it was so strong you would have to shampoo one side before you do another. That's how strong it was. So over the years using it, of course it's going to do damage to our body.
Local hairstylists say they weren't surprised by the new study.
Well, it's been a study before, like 20-something years ago. I've had clients that had cancer. And around that time, like in the year 2000, they was linking it to hair color. And I've had a few clients that colored their hair frequently, and they got cancer.
Researchers could not identify the specific chemical leading to a higher chance of getting uterine cancer, but believe it can be found within straighteners.
You know, at this point, based upon the information we have, we can't necessarily tell women that chemically straightening your hair will definitely give you cancer of the uterus. But I do think it's possible that we suggest that you don't do it as often.
Dr. Ross says it's up to medical professionals to stay up to date on these types of studies.
It is something that I think providers, oncologists as myself, as well as even your general practitioners are going to have to keep in mind, that they're going to have to start being informed about these sorts of studies, because at some point someone will ask your opinion.
In the meantime, stylists we spoke with say more Black women should be embracing their natural curls.
I think we just need to embrace our natural God-given texture. That's it. We don't have to, I mean, if you want to change your look, get a wig and put it on. But cut the relaxer out. Period.
Breast cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death among women in the United States, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And you've probably heard of treatments like chemotherapy, surgery, or radiation. Dr. Hanya Bednarski offers a different approach called cryoablation.
Once we find the tumor that we're going after, we numb the skin, numb the deep tissues, make a tiny incision, place a special probe through the tumor under ultrasound guidance so we can actually watch the probe go through the tumor. So it's very precise. We then measure throughout the procedure to make sure that the probe is placed properly. And then we start to freeze the tumor.
Dr. Bednarski says the probe is at negative 180 degrees Celsius, cooling the tissue around the probe and forming an ice ball to kill the cancer cells. And it takes about 45 minutes.
Really, I think the biggest benefits are the time benefits. You know, you really don't have to take a lot of time off. There's no downtime from anesthesia. There's no risk of anesthesia.
She says this less invasive treatment allows patients to have a speedy recovery with little discomfort. Patient Wei Hyung had cryoablation yesterday and shared the spiral of emotion she felt when she was told those paralyzing words, "You have breast cancer."
Just feel numb, like, you know, and at the time you didn't really have a whole lot of knowledge of the disease, but you're pretty much just going through the motion, and I just feel very overwhelmed.
Today, she's up and walking around, hopeful she can beat her cancer. Dr. Bednarski says a scientific trial that's looking at 199 women who used cryoablation is showing only a 2% reoccurrence in almost 5 years.
For at least 3 hours Wednesday, state Supreme Court justices heard arguments from pro-choice and pro-life attorneys over South Carolina's fetal heartbeat law.
The experience of pregnancy is an intimate experience of one's body.
State interest in articulated is obviously the protection, among other things, of the life of the unborn.
The arguments come after Planned Parenthood filed a lawsuit in July to block the abortion law state lawmakers passed last year, outlawing abortions once a heartbeat can be detected by ultrasound, which is typically at the 6-week mark of a pregnancy.
What this act considers a heartbeat is actually embryonic cardiac activity that occurs as a result of electrical flickering of a portion of the embryonic tissue.
Attorneys for the state called on South Carolina's decades-long history of passing laws to protect life as a basis for justices to uphold their abortion ban, only providing exceptions in cases of rape, incest, and when the mother's life is in danger.
We know there's a 95% correlation between detection of fetal heartbeat activity and live birth.
Attorneys for Planned Parenthood shot back, calling the mandatory reporting requirement for rape victims associated with the abortion ban a violation of their rights to privacy and equal protection.
Each time that this court has had a case like this, it's taken us quite a bit of time to resolve.
Some Supreme Court justices still question if this is an issue that the people of South Carolina could potentially vote on in a special election. One state lawmaker proposed a referendum to do that earlier this year, and other state lawmakers struck that down.